I will see my friends eating a large cheese pizza. I'm like, I want that cheese pizza so bad.
It actually has turned out, it looks like it is linked to a bigger health issue that I'm dealing with.
I feel like if you're gonna eat something that is healthy, then you should spend a lot of money on it.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to #Tea Talk.
Sorry, I wasn't
To your fairness, I didn't actually prepare any of you. I keep looking at them and going, say it now.
I was like, why is she talking so slow?
Tea Talk. So we're here today. We are drinking some tea out of our Nikki P tumbler cups. I feel like it's such shameless promotion. I feel slightly bad, but I just really like my own tumbler cups. They're cute, huh? Yeah, and we're actually drinking my tea today. This is the tea that everybody always asks me, what tea are you drinking? And it's this tea. It is the Paradise Tropical Tea. Don't fall over the light stand. It's behind getting other shots. You want me to hold it like this? Paradise Tropical Tea. It's delicious. Does everybody love it?
I love it. I like that it's not like too sweet.
It's good,
like
huh?
the perfect amount of sweetness.
Yeah, everybody really likes it. Because you don't have to say it just because.
10 out of 10.
I just only ban you from the table. It's cool. It's fine. So today we are answering your questions where you can send them in using the #TeaTalk. But we talk about a specific topic. If you didn't see any of our previous episodes, I'm not sure which episode number this is. If you haven't seen them, we basically talk about one topic, and I guess like I just said, we answer your questions under the #TeaTalk. So today we are talking about dieting. Dieting. I thought there was another word for that.
Dieting. Let's always make us talk about whatever we're talking about.
Okay, before we go around the table, we're gonna back up and everybody's gonna introduce themselves. My name is Nikki Philippak. If you didn't know me, hi.
I am Emily Olson.
I'm Tana Montana.
Maddie McHugh.
Good job, guys. Great job, everyone. So I'm gonna jump in and read our first question. These are random in no particular order. I wanted to be all organized before we did it, but I'm gonna play to my strength that I'm not organized.
You're Nikki.
Play to your strength.
Thanks, guys. I'm just gonna read a question. This one is from @ProCritica_True.
That is quite the username.
Simple.
Yeah, it's a simple. Simplicity is its finest.
Keeping it simple.
And this is on Instagram, and she or he said, it looks like, oh, it's she on her Snapchat filter. She says, dieting. People of what age group should do dieting? Question mark. I think she's wondering what age group should diet, which is an interesting thought in and of itself.
Yes,
Okay.
I
guess that's something that I haven't really thought of. Like, what age should you diet? Which, like, should people even go on a diet?
Yeah, exactly.
Because from my personal perspective, it should be an entire change of your lifestyle. I don't think a diet is going to help you in the long run if you only do it for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and I mean,
Do you guys agree?
I definitely see what you're saying, and I totally get that viewpoint. I feel like I hear that all the time, but I don't think anyone should feel bad if they want to go, like if they want to start a diet, because I feel like just starting things, sometimes it'll help you to propel you into that sort of lifestyle.
That's a really good
so
point,
like
too.
I feel like it discourages people. They're like, don't try a short diet, but it's like, what if you tried and then maybe that's just like the lifestyle for you, like that works, you know?
And I guess it also kind of has to depend on the kind of like change in your diet, because like there are people who go on like extreme types of those, and they ruin a lot of things about themselves, like and like not even internally, but like in their head as well, and it can really screw them up. So
yeah, that's a really good point.
But also I do agree with you though, like it can help to like
propel
them
you in a
into
good
different
direction.
lifestyle.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that the question, the way it was phrased, was really interesting. Like, at what age? I don't think that there really is like an age. I don't think it's even really about like, oh, this is the age you should start dieting. I think that you really should focus it on being a lifestyle. And I think that sometimes, like, it is crazy to me though how young the fascination, obsession, awareness, I don't know what it call it, begins with your body. Like I remember, I said this before, I remember like staring in the mirror, but I will actually, there's a whole nother thought to that, but I remember staring in the mirror when I was really little at my thighs and my butt and being like, why do I have cellulite? And I was like 7, and I remember getting really upset and feeling like, what did I do? Like, how can I fix this? Like, I gotta do more squats, and I was a little girl. Now, I will say that I think there is one other side to dieting that I've heard people start to address more on the internet lately. I feel like people get on this whole body positivity kick, and it's like, whatever you wanna do is fine. But the problem is, sometimes things going on outside just reflect something bad that could be going on the inside.
Oh, totally.
And on a side note, this is really way too complicated to dive into this tea talk right now, but the whole cellulite thing for me and like the back of my legs, it actually has turned out, it looks like it is linked to a bigger health issue that I'm dealing with. So it makes sense that I noticed it. But how do you walk that line of like noticing things and not obsessing over things?
Yeah.
How do you do? That's actually kind of a question I have for you guys.
Anyone really knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Honestly,
There is no like straight up answer for that.
I always think about that with anxiety too.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think about the things that you need to cover and take care of without obsessing and getting anxious?
It's like, plus we're always our own worst critic, and that is the worst thing about everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
Yeah, no, because I was talking to my friend yesterday, and I guess my solution to that is just, like, you can't not have those thoughts. It's not about trying to stop those thoughts. It's about recognizing them, letting that happen, letting yourself feel it, and then moving on from it. Because you're gonna have these thoughts. You can't escape the media or any kind of like stimuli that's around you. You can't escape it. We're all living in this world together. So I mean, you just have to recognize it, take it in, and then learn how you want to internalize that.
Yeah.
However that is.
Yeah.
I've noticed that something both with anxiety in general and then also weight things or obsessions with my skin, something that's really helped me to kind of like not get so obsessed and so anxious. This is a very random life hack, but it really helped me, is when I get outside of my head and the knowledge that I'm exposed to, specifically meaning like when I dive into history, for example, and I learn about what people have gone through in different parts of the world and like the struggles that other people have, a lot of the times it gets me out of my head.
Yeah.
Now sometimes I can start beating myself up. I'm like, you're such a moron, look at you stressing out while other people are really suffering.
Yeah.
But like if I go into it with the right attitude, it actually can really help adjust my thinking. Like, see, like look, it's really not that big of a deal. Like you're here for more than just looking a certain way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Have you, because you haven't said a whole lot, so I'm going to pull it out of you. Have you ever dealt with anything, I don't know, like any body image issues, or have you ever been on any crazy diets, or like anything food related, Emily?
Well, I mean, yeah, everybody's dealt with food issues and, well, not food issues, but body image issues, and just, especially like when you go through pregnancy as well. Like
Pregnancy, that's an interesting different
because
side to it.
Yeah, your body changes and you have to be not really thinking about how you look anymore. It's more about what you're nourishing. So it really changes your perspective on why you're feeding yourself. And like just the traditional way you're supposed to look, everyone's trying to be as thin as possible, but that doesn't work when you're pregnant. So and then after you're done being pregnant, getting your body back and stuff. It's something that I try not to.
Totally.
I hear so many women say that the pressure is like so intense after a baby, that there's like this, she lost her weight in this much time, she lost her weight in this much time, and that you feel like you have to be this certain model of what a post-pregnant woman is like.
Yeah, and you know, how soon you work out, or did you work out the whole pregnancy, or you know, all that kind of stuff. And so there is a huge stigma, and then when people say, oh, you look great, right, you know, 5 days later you're like, oh, okay.
Thanks, I definitely don't feel like
You're
myself.
like,
It's really interesting. Two things on that side note. A, I've had so many friends that have been pregnant within this last year, and it is really interesting. This is kind of on a side tangent, whatever we tangent on here currently, that I've had some, like my friends have literally looked amazing when they're pregnant, and I'm like, dude, you look good, and it's amazing to see how much they're like almost upset by it. They're like, no.
Really?
And I'm like, no, I'm literally like in awe of how you look, and they don't see themselves that way. Also, it is really interesting, the debate and the judgment around exercising when you're pregnant. I had one friend who was so into working out, like intense working out, almost all the way up until she delivered, and she really felt like she was doing what was right. And then I had other friends who looked at that person and was like, she's working out too much, this is not good, like whatever. And it's just interesting, like the judgment around pregnancy. I don't know what this has to do with dieting, it's just, but it kind of does. The body image.
It's how you get back into it,
Exactly.
Your body, I
You
guess.
can't diet, basically.
And it's interesting what you said about feeling like pregnancy shifted your perspective because you felt like, oh, now I'm nourishing something. Because really, that should be the perspective all the time. Like,
It's
it
not
really
how
should be
not
that way.
how you look anymore.
Exactly.
It's not what it's about.
Exactly. You should be nourishing yourself, but it's interesting that we fall down this I don't know, like I was saying about plastic surgery, I was saying this to you the other day, that like I kind of feel a little bit stupid. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but like I had a boob job, to those of you that don't know, and I actually really like my boob job. The doctor did a great job. I like it. But in retrospect, the more, I don't know if you'd call it wisdom that I get, because I'm just talking myself up, but the more wisdom that I get, the more I'm like, I feel kind of dumb for subjecting myself to a surgical operation just to have some boobs. Like, I feel like taking care of your body, this is the only thing we can't replace. It's the vehicle that gets us through life. Like, I'm like, I did that just to have these bigger sacks on my chest, like, and I was already married, and my husband was like, don't get a boob job, and I was like, no, I want it. Like, I think that we forget and take for granted how precious our body is. And you know when you get sick and then you're like, I didn't realize I was so frail. You know, you're like, I didn't know I could be so easily squashed by the universe. Like, it's true, we take for granted our health, and like, I think it's so important. I just went on like a sermon, huh?
It's good. It's good.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Should I open up the next question?
Yeah.
Sure. All right. The next question is from @BK Lambrecht on Instagram. And this person, can't tell if it's boy or girl, said, what foods do you avoid in order to stay healthy overall?
Interesting. Okay, so I mean, a lot of people, I guess, have kind of talked to me about this just because I kind of like started like changing what I eat and stuff and just not eating, I guess, whatever I want. But a lot of people have the opinion that they're like, oh no, you should eat whatever you want. And I'm like, I don't know, I guess it goes back to why are you eating those foods? And like, because my sister brought up the point, she's like, if you're not eating to fuel your body, like if you can't, like, if you're not doing that, then what are you eating for? Like, what's the point? So it's also like, if you want to eat like a Snickers bar, why are you eating that Snickers bar? Is that because you're like sad, or because you just are craving like chocolate? You know what I mean? Like, what is the reason?
Exactly. You have to kind of listen to your body. You have to.
People telling you like, don't eat this or that, and don't let them tell you that you can't not eat this or that, because sometimes like everybody's different, and definitely like some people can't eat bread. You know, sometimes it like dairy allergies, things like that. It's just you know what your body feels like when you eat certain things. So I think that's the only person that needs to care about that. Like, don't let anyone else tell you don't restrict or do restrict. Just do what is actually right for your body.
And having that awareness is important, and it's hard. Not everyone is that aware. I try to, my diet has changed a lot over the years. One thing that I consistently try, and I fail at it half the time, but I try to not consume too much sugar. I'm convinced that just sugar wreaks havoc on your body, and it comes in a lot of hidden forms.
And your mood.
Yes, and your mood and your mental state, which I guess is the same thing. And there's really interesting, there's interesting documentaries everywhere, and I really like health documentaries. I'm also
Me too. I am obsessed with them.
I sit on both. I love them, but I'm also because I edit, I'm like, just because you're saying that this is fact, we don't know what the other side is.
Right.
But I still love documentaries. I find them interesting.
They're very interesting.
Very interesting.
They are.
And there's a lot of documentaries about sugar and the sugar industry and how they're the smoking gun at every single disease that they found, diabetes and cancer. It's always excessive sugar consumption. So I try to keep my sugar down the best I can.
But it's in everything.
It's in
It truly is.
It's hard.
Especially in the form of high fructose corn syrup. It is literally in everything, you guys.
That's why I don't eat a lot of corn. I keep not corn at my house because I consume so much corn everywhere else. I'm just like, I don't want corn nonstop flowing through my bloodstream. It just feels weird to have one thing flowing through me all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of the reason I brought you on was because your diet is a new diet.
Yeah, I recently switched to a plant-based vegan. So that's how I am right now. And at first it was, to be quite honest, it was because I wanted to slim myself just a little bit. But then as I was kind of educating myself, it turned into this whole other thing, and it turned into a lot of stuff about the environment, and then just about your health and general, and then obviously the cruelty of all the animals and stuff. But that was kind of how I realized I need to do what's the greatest thing for me, and that was all about educating myself, and that's why I'm obsessed with all those Netflix documentaries. They're so interesting.
It's really interesting to me because I think media is so helpful for any endeavor. Meaning, I always hear because I'm not vegan and I'm not fully plant-based, but I would say 80 to 90% of my diet is plant-based. And I hear a lot of vegan people say like, oh, you have to keep the videos and the information in front of you because it keeps you pumped.
Exactly.
And I totally agree with it, but I actually think that about everything. I think media is like,
that's a good point.
it's really, actually my therapist said this to me once.
That's a good point.
She was talking about like sex life stuff, and she was like, Nikki, if you want to like amp up or you know work on your sex life more, she's like, watch more stuff about sex. She's like, just like you do about your health or about this. She's like, if you want, like, let the media inspire you. And so but I find when I get into all those videos, I'm like even more pumped. I'm like, I'm gonna go bake a potato right now.
Exactly. So it definitely keeps me motivated. There have been times when I will see my friends eating a large cheese pizza. I'm like, I want that cheese pizza so bad, and then I'm like, no, and then I'll be like, let's scroll through an Instagram of like a vegan Instagrammer, and it's like, okay, I'm good. So it's like, I do really let the media influence me, but only to a certain extent. I don't I don't want it to like get into my head, you know, because like, yes, a really great side effect of being vegan is you are slim.
Yeah, you lose weight.
But you don't want that to be the ultimate goal. You need to feed your soul and your body. So,
yeah, that's definitely number one. Most important.
Yeah!
Should I read the next question?
Yeah, sure.
This is at Sarah Harbert, and she said, is organic food really worth the hype? What are some easy, this is a whole separate question. What are some easy food options for the summer that are healthy and faves? So these are kind of two questions in one. So, organic food, what are your guys' opinions? Do you think it's worth the hype?
I personally do not.
Yeah? Why do you not think it?
I guess maybe I'm not educated enough on it. I guess I haven't really educated myself on that specific topic, so I don't know if you guys have anything that you can let me know.
Well, I mean, like, we vote with our dollars, I guess, so I think that it is worth the hype in the sense that it's a better way to make food, or to have food be prepared, and so if we can all demand more organic food, places will start selling more organic food. That's same with non-GMO, same with all those better options, I guess.
I think that non-organic is 56 times better than like going to fast food.
Exactly.
I think it's like, it's almost like if you're choosing between one or the other, it's like, just don't worry about the organic. Don't be like, I can't buy organic. Oh, I'll go into McDonald's. It's like, get the non-organic, you're fine. Like,
I think like not everybody can afford organic, but it's like, it's still a better option to just get not organic produce. And also, Trader Joe's does have some pretty affordable organic.
And
they
actually
do lots of healthy
Walmart
foods
does too.
That they're talking about for the summer. You were talking about your quinoa oatmeal.
Oh my god, so good.
Oatmeal,
so good.
Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's is the best.
They have the best like snack, kind of like if you're gonna be having packaged food, I feel like Trader Joe's is a good place to get it. And it's, I mean, I don't know. I think every diet is kind of restrictive in a way. Like a vegan diet, it's a restriction. So I mean, if you're gonna restrict certain foods or anything like that, like I feel like you should try to go to a place that you know has things that are made better. Like you were talking, we vote with our dollars, so that definitely makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's a good point that like every diet is sort of restricted in some sense.
Because you're choosing to eat a certain way.
Yeah, even like everything in moderation is kind of restrictive.
It is. Yeah.
You're restricting yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like people get hung up on that whole restriction thing when it's like they probably do the same things, they might just label it.
Yeah, and it's like there's a different word for it. It's like it's called discipline. Like that's just kind of like you have to discipline yourself like to get a result. Okay, so I was gonna say to answer to my opinion for the organic thing also is I get scared. I do think that it's scary that it's like we're able to kill bugs with this spray. So I'm gonna ingest this. I feel like I'm like, you can't tell me that if I'm eating this over and over and over and over and over and over and over, that it's gonna do nothing to me. Now that being said, I think that because plants are so fibrous, that the whole eating non-organic thing, it's like you're probably sweeping a lot of stuff out of your system. But I just think it doesn't really matter if you can't afford it. It's like just eat produce. Like if you can't afford organic, whatever. But like because I can swing the difference, I always opt for organic if I can. And I do think that you're better if you're gonna pick, you've probably heard this before, to pick like organic tomatoes or grapes or whatever, but like not oranges.
Skin and stuff like that.
It's like avocado has a protection. Like oranges have a protection.
Watermelon too.
So
things that have like a really
thick skin around it.
Got
you're not eating directly on it. But like, and maybe that's like whatever voodoo, but you just can't tell me that like this paralysis spray is being put on and it's like, oh, but I'm fine. Like it's cool. I'm like, I don't believe you. I'm sorry. Should I ask the next question?
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Priskio. What are some healthy breakfast options for morning classes? I'm assuming you mean before you go to school.
Are we thinking like quick or like
I think
easy,
portable.
quick and easy, portable? Like what?
I think quick and easy.
Okay. Well, I
Okay.
love apples. Honestly.
Me too.
Yeah.
In the morning, they're great. They do have sugar, but it's like
But it's, like, healthy
it catches
sugar.
you up. Yeah. So I love to eat apples.
Yeah, like any just like fresh fruit, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
If
Honestly,
you
yeah.
want to work a little bit harder, I make what is it? Vegan pancakes.
Oh, yes, I know you're
It
really
only
good.
takes like 20 minutes, I'd say, so
Yeah.
a little bit longer. It's not obviously the greatest breakfast for if you're in a rush,
Yeah.
but it's only 3 ingredients.
Uh-huh.
It's rolled oats,
Uh-huh.
1 banana, and almond milk. And they taste so good, you guys, and they're so healthy for
That
you.
sounds amazing.
And I find that they keep me full for like 3-4 hours. Zoe.
Ignore, that's Zoe. Do you pre-cook them and keep them like for
I
later?
do.
That's
I do.
cool. I like when people do that. After making oatmeal today, I'm like, dude, that was freaking fast.
It's easy.
That took like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oatmeal's really easy.
Yeah,
but then
it
you
is.
can like have fruit on top like
Yep,
you did.
yep.
yeah,
I think
that
it's
was
perfect.
really
It's
good.
super filling too.
Yeah, pants. And our last question is from @JanaFayeColeman, and she said, how do you eat healthy on a budget? I'm the wrong person to answer this because I do not budget my food anymore. I used to though.
Interesting.
I really prioritize food. I think that food is something that you should splurge on.
Yeah.
That's my personal perspective.
I feel like if you're gonna eat something that is healthy, then you should spend a lot of money on it. If you're just going, it's gonna sustain you. So it's gonna be better for you.
It seems like the most obvious thing to spend your money on.
Yeah.
But I feel like I hear people say it a lot, like it's so expensive.
Yeah.
And like, even if it's a huge part of your like income,
Yeah.
like, isn't that where you should spend it?
It's
Like above your
important.
house,
Clothes.
clothes, makeup,
It's like,
anything.
well,
It's like,
It's your health.
yeah, it's
You don't get that
number
back.
one.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's the only vehicle. It's like your vehicle through
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Totally.
On that
Take care
note,
of it, guys. Take care of your bodies.
Take care of your bodies.
Yeah.
That's the message on Tea Talk.
Yeah.
today. So, do we have any questions? Do we want them to answer a question in the comments below? I'm kind of thinking of that.
That's interesting.
I'm usually really great at coming up with the questions.
I'll ask a couple of questions. I want to know, have you ever been on an extreme diet? Is it something you've ever struggled with, like body images, body issues? And what are your opinions, just honestly, just on everything we talked about? How do you feel about sugar? How do you feel about budgeting for your food, organic versus non-organic? Let us know what you think in the comments down below, because we are going to be reading comments. We want to know what you think. Yes, and responding. And we want a conversation. So let us know what you think and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. And don't forget to click here to subscribe to this channel. And I will have all of their channels linked down below as well. And we will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
I'm gonna have this tea now.
I thought you were going to say, I'm an adult. I don't know why.
I'm an adult.